private chat, you mean?
No, to see the stream chat.
Oh, not yeah. See, no, not through this, not through this part. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know. Yeah,
no, that's good. I'll just pull it up in another window. That's all.
Yeah, I can see it on my side. Hey everyone, I think we might be live.
Hey.
I've got here with me Mike Harlow and Grifty IRL.
What's up, guys? How's everybody doing?
Thank you for having me with my gay lover.
Oh my God.
It's okay. People know about us, Grifty.
Do they? Do they?
Yes.
Well, I kind of hijacked you guys like at the edge of your other show the other day, and I just thought you guys were such a great match. I thought, yeah, great, let's snatch them up. So
oh, it was great. That was a great show.
Happy to do it. It was a total blast, that show. So I'm ready to run it back. Let's do this thing.
Awesome. Well, today, what is on the menu today? I have a few things now. Like I try to be really organized and like get stuff together, but it's just not me. Hey, it's just not me. So
that happens.
So I wrote down a list of things that are obviously going on. One of those things is Enrique Tarrio. Obviously, he got 22 years. They were trying to go for 33. He got 22.
For not even being in DC.
Yeah, he wasn't even there.
That's impressive.
I wanted to have a look at a few cringe things like that Strike Force 5. Have you guys seen any of that?
I haven't.
You haven't seen it? I haven't seen any of it.
I haven't even watched it.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, though, don't you?
Yeah, the late night people, the Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, I thought about farming it for content, and I just couldn't bring myself to even watch it. But I guess here we go. I guess we're gonna do it today.
Hey, we've got Daniel Rude in the chat. Hey, Daniel, thanks for coming. 2 Daniels here. Oh, how about that? All right. I figured we'd go and have a look a bit of. Yeah, sorry, it's not in our I can't bring it into the.
I'll find it. I got the something.
Sorry, I need to be I'm just starting at this, so I'm gonna get a little bit more sophisticated as I go.
I'm hoping I will any day now.
This is why I use StreamYard, but even with StreamYard, they don't have the Rumble plugin yet. So with me only running my streams to Rumble, I can't get live chat through StreamYard anyway. I always have to pull it up in a separate window. So
I can bring the live chat into my OBS scenes, but that doesn't make it visible to you guys on the back end.
Oh, yeah, you're good.
And there's only one person in the chat, so it's just a bit sad
to
do
hopefully,
that. Once it gets more populated.
People on stream now, so it'll populate out.
Sure. Once it gets more populated, I get a little bit more audience with this, and I get a bit more traction. I'm going to have it set up so that the chats actually appear on the screen, so that people can actually feel a little bit more involved. But yeah, so I thought we'd go through that, have a look at that, maybe check out what's going on with Mitch McConnell. He seems to be freezing up a lot, and
he needs a system reboot.
He needs to go to bed. I think he just needs to go to bed and stay there.
Yeah, if by bed you mean 6 feet under bed. Good night.
Well,
God rest his soul and all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to be. We're 2 minutes in, and I'm threatening. I'm doing a domestic terrorism.
Hey, Daniel, can you tell us if we are visible, audible, and all of that stuff? There's a bit of a delay with the chat, so we were just because usually
audible, sexy.
What will happen is I will get halfway through the show and then it'll be oh, no one can hear you. I'm like, oh, fuck, that was a waste. So what should we go for first? What should we go for first? Let's have a look at Mitch McConnell first, just for something light and fun. Now,
words he has never been described as before. Light and fun, Mitch McConnell.
Now, can you guys see this screen here?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, guys, let's. Oh no, but everyone else can't. Now, let's have a look. Mitchie here. He's had a bit of problems with freezing up, and it seems I don't want to like be a like doctor or anything, but I don't think he should be like he and the Dianne Feinsteins and shit. I don't think they should really be hanging around at this point. I mean, look, he's been asked a very basic question here. I want you to listen to the question and listen to his response.
What are my thoughts about what? Running for re-election in 2026.
So he's been asked about running for re-election. And he's like, I'll probably be dead.
He will.
Look at his face, though.
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026?
Oh.
All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute.
Oh,
It's the same. It's the same thing he did before.
It is, isn't it? But what is it? What's going on? Is he? Because he's like, you can see in another angle of this, which I don't have with me at the minute. But she's grabbing him by the back right now, and he's got his hands firmly gripped on the lectern, and he's not letting go.
Thing.
Yeah, right. So
because they pointed that out with Biden too, that he'll like clasp his hands to remember things. That's a dementia technique.
Right. So she at the moment,
Yeah.
Go on, Grifty.
Yeah, the way she's grabbing his hands, that Mike's right. That's like something nurses use to try and pull people out. But the way he grabs, so this time and the last time when he froze out and blue screened and AI needed to reboot, his hands like grasp onto the podium and they clutch, and it's almost like he's ready to pass out, to faint, and he's trying to steady himself,
using it as a restraint, as a something to hold him. And yeah, I think that might be right. But I think what they thought is that like, well, he's stubborn. He's gonna refuse to step down here. So they continue to ask him questions. See, he won't let go.
Make believe.
So I don't think I have audio. Does anyone have audio on?
Yeah, I can't
these
hear
videos?
it. But it's bad enough as it is.
There is really no audio on this
at
the moment.
I think this clip, the fact that they continue asking questions, the fact that they just pretend everything's fine, I think this clip really illustrates something George Carlin used to say, that this is all a giant club and you ain't in it. And all of these people are in it together. They are all right now, the media, the politicians, the handlers, they are all right now performing a production called Everything's Fine.
Absolutely. I know why you can't hear the audio, by the way. I forgot to hit the goddamn button. No, I didn't. It says share system audio. Oh no, I did.
How old is he even? Because I feel like these people.
He's 81.
81.
That's not even that. Like they seem older than they are.
Have you not seen the meme going around right now? It's him and Mick Jagger, and it's like Mick Jagger is 81, and Mitch McConnell is 81. I'm glad to see the results of a life of sex, drugs, and rock and roll are so terrible. And Mick Jagger looks, yeah, there you go,
Here
right
it is.
there.
Yeah, I mean,
they're both 81 years old.
Yeah, but this is a photograph, you know. Like, how many interviews does Mick Jagger have to do, and how often does he have to speak in front of an audience, and how much, like, I bet if you spoke to him, he'd sound like hammered shit as well.
I think he still performs.
No, there are a lot of people who are older than that are in. My dad is 90 and like goes to the gym every day and bench presses and swims laps and goes on tour. It's like these people are just past their expiration date.
They are.
We need term limits.
But when that's never going to happen, though. Like, I mean, and I heard someone saying this the other day, and I can't remember where, but it was like, has there ever been another time when, like back in the 80s, were there ever like 100-year-old senators that were still grasping on and that would refuse to let go? Or is this just a new thing now? Grifty's just disappeared on us. I think he's
Am I
just
frozen or just on my screen?
No, you're not frozen on my screen.
I think it's gotten worse. I mean, these people will be trying to keep their claws on the grips of power from beyond the grave.
I don't know, like, because everyone talks about the New World Order and all of that sort of shit, and it kind of feels like there's this old guard that wants to keep hold of everything. But then what's the new guard got in store for us? Like lockdowns and shit?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, what? Because
they're
I know.
coming back.
Well, they've already started closing schools in Kentucky and Texas. I've seen
And
reports
a
of that.
school in Maryland just reinstituted mask mandates. So
New York,
and
they
your
recommended-
government down there spent all that money on those fancy camps.
They're still being built. They're still
I mean,
under
obviously
construction.
Not for
they're going
nothing.
to use them.
It's interesting, right? You're going to invest all that money into all these facilities, let's call them, and then they declare the pandemic over, yet they keep building them for the next one, right? Which, how successful was that experiment? How successful was it?
Wait,
it was a remarkable success. I bet they can't believe their luck.
I know you mean. So when they decided they didn't want to do the pandemic anymore, they didn't just sell all the parts off, because that's what Biden's doing with our wall.
What do you mean,
Like
sell all
they
the
did in
parts?
Afghanistan.
Oh, you mean like repurpose the buildings for other things? Well, poor old Becky's dying over there.
Sorry, I hit my vape pen. Yeah, all of the parts of the southern border wall in the U.S. that Trump had sitting down there waiting to be installed, Biden's selling them off for pennies on the dollar. All the materials, everything.
So he's actually. Well, I suppose it's better than just sitting there to do nothing and just pollute the earth. But like, it's what a fucking waste! Like, that's such a waste of money. Like, how many? But again, it's really chump change in the grand scheme of things. Like, in terms of, you look at the whole omnibus bill and all the amount of money that goes over to Ukraine and all sorts of shit. You think, well, it's actually only a fraction of that could build this wall. In reality, what was the projected cost of that?
Well, and for them,
Mikey.
it's not a waste of money.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I think your sound is just behind a couple of seconds.
Mine screwed up.
It's only behind a couple of seconds. It's all right.
Oh, cool. What was this? I forgot what I was saying. It's not a waste for them. It's serving the exact purpose that they want it to. They're getting, we get the tyranny that we allow, and the vast majority of people have allowed it. The vast majority will continue to allow it. So I'm very jaded.
I'm very jaded too. I mean, like, you look, people in this country, they're all screaming and tweeting and saying, "Don't comply, don't comply." But at the end of the day, this was one of the most complicit countries. We were so compliant. Like, we were so compliant last time, and
ours wasn't much better.
No, it wasn't. But, like, we were locked down for like 200 days in a row or something stupid like that. And then they do it another 100 days in a row after that, and they wouldn't let you walk to the next suburb and all sorts of crap. I don't want to rehash all the COVID stuff because it's just boring, but they are bringing it back. So I just want to have a bit of I mean, where was I going with that?
We're saying term limits and that it would never happen. I think the only realistic way it could ever be passed is if the people say it starts once they're out of office.
Oh, you sounds a bit screwed.
Oh, there we go. Who, mine?
Nah, Mikey's. It's okay. I feel bad calling you Mikey because like it reminds me of Carlin.
Oh, that bitch.
My nickname.
I can't. So sad. I can't hear him. What he's saying.
I got him in. Fast forward.
Anyway, maybe
Can you hear me
while
now?
Mike... Hey, I can sort of hear you now.
Is it my microphone or the... I'm going to figure this out. I'm sorry.
It's in and out. It's in and out. You're kind of audible and stuff now.
Yeah. I don't know. He's in and out for me too, so it's not.
Oh,
on
baby.
here. Oh God. Oh God. What did I say? What did I say?
I wanted to bring up because how in tune with this ADL thing are you guys? Because I don't really know too much about it. Are you interested in it? Do you want to talk about it at all? There's this whole thing with Elon Musk suing the Anti-Defamation League, and he's made announcements about it yesterday. I think it was yesterday or the day before, and for whatever reason, I was about to fall asleep at 6 a.m. in the morning, and then I got this message in my inbox from Mario Nafal. It was actually from his account, but it was one of his assistants or something, and Rick, I think. It says, Mario, we'd like you to speak in our space. And then he says, oh, we've had Hunter Biden, and we've had this, we've had that. I'm like, yeah. I know who Mario is. You don't have to sort of give me a blowy here in the DMs, but like, I'll join your space. It's really early here. I haven't slept, so if we could get it happening soon, it'd be nice. But I'll join if you know to start with. Oh my gosh, my guest just... Oh no, you're
So,
back.
Grifty, in the meantime, we can just talk about our vibrant sex life.
Oh my God. Mike, you can't put that on the internet. I'm married. No. But we still got our thing. It's okay. It's just
Okay, I want to tell anyone.
Yeah, we're live, guys. Everyone can hear this.
Daniel, I know.
Your secret's out, man.
Daniel, your sound cut out. Your sound cut out.
It?
But you're back now.
Yeah, I've got this is a real train wreck. Sorry, guys, but it'll get better. I might end up just paying. I don't want to pay Streamlabs because.
Can I tell you, it's so much easier.
Can I tell you, StreamYard is so worth it. It's a little
not Streamlabs, StreamYard.
It's so worth it.
Do you know how much?
Best money.
How much do you pay for it a month?
I pay a lot because I get the 1080, but I think you get the lower one. I pay 50, but I think they have one for like 20. Here, it's probably more for you.
I pay 20 a month, but I only have the 720.
It's so worth it.
Right. So I cannot. For me, 720 is out of the question because you can't read small text. You just can't read screen shares at all. You can't read. If I was to go through and do small text, impossible. The only time that it's useful is if I've got guests on, which is actually kind of what the show's supposed to be about. But if I do videos on my own, I don't need any client at all. I can just host and stream straight through OBS. But for me, that $20 turns into about 30 something Australian dollars. Then I've got to pay an exchange rate, and that's still the cheapest plan. So I'm paying about 40 something dollars for the cheapest thing to be 720, and I can't multi-stream to the platforms I want. So then I have to pay for the $50 one, which is actually gonna be more like 80 Australian dollars a month. I can't justify that spend. I just can't justify that. It's just nowhere close to affordable for me. Not even close.
I have a friend in Australia who's telling me about how you guys get screwed on prices for everything. That sucks.
It gets like Adobe, like you guys pay like fucking a 20th of what we pay. We have to pay like $80 a month or something stupid for the Adobe package. It's dumb. But anyway, that's why everyone pirates stuff here.
It's pretty high here. It's pretty high here unless you... So I get it for $20 a month because I use my kid's school ID. So I get the student package.
I just pirate it. I just have it on pirate. I have the whole thing pirated. Adobe, you can fucking send me a letter. I don't give a shit. I've been using your software for years, and I'm going to keep doing it. But there's a better one called Affinity, where you can just pay for it once. And I do legally own the Affinity suite. Like I paid $160, and I have it on iPad and the PC.
What's that for?
And it's an alternative to Photoshop and like Illustrator. So there's a vector and a raster one, and then there's also one Affinity Publisher, which is like a alternative for InDesign. But anyway, that's getting off topic. Whatever the topic is, should we watch some footage? Let's watch some footage or something. Here was my list. Here's my list. So, but like, this is what it's broken shit down. And what I was going to do is go into. Do you know much about Mario Nafwal?
I just know he's the Spaces guy.
Yeah, there's some sketchy shit around him.
There is some sketchy shit around him, and I'm going to go into it just like a little bit of it. Have you heard about the whole thing about how? Now, look, Mario, if you're watching this, which you're not, but you may see it because you started to follow me now. I don't hate you, man, but like you really gotta be honest with us because there's this one guy called Upper Echelon who's being sued right now for $11 million by Mario, allegedly, I have to say, because he's been calling out Mario and his antics. Mikey, you still there with us?
Yeah, am I not?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just your face is frozen. That's all right. It's still pretty. It's all right. You look good in the frozen pose.
Oh, okay,
It's not
that's
one
what
of them.
matters.
It's not one of them ugly. You know when they catch you in an ugly moment?
That's the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So this guy, Upper
audio's
Echelon.
coming through. No
Your audio's
video
fine.
though.
So this guy, Upper Echelon, he is blowing the lid on this guy Mario, and I just wanted to have a quick. First of all, let's have a quick look at the. I know this is all over the place. I'm so sorry, but let's have a quick look at the memes from that space because there was this shill from Black Cube in there, and she pretended not to be. And then this guy Keith Woods just completely called her out. Here it is. Watch, the moment I exposed Israeli intelligence officer Vivian Berchevici, I think her name is, trying to disrupt the ADL files on Twitter Space. After asking her about her background working with Israeli intelligence firm Black Cube, she quit the space and deactivated her account, which was incredible.
We know
Now,
which side you're on. Don't.
Hold on, let's go back to the start. She was actually sitting right here. She's not visible in this screen here, but her avatar was right next to mine at the time, and it just went.
Can say this. I've been accused of all kinds of horrible things personally because I'm Jewish. And a number of listeners here, and maybe they'll have the courage and integrity to speak up, have already messaged me on Twitter saying, oh.
Can you hear it?
No.
Yeah, I can hear it. It's echoing on the stream.
Well, we know which side you're on, don't we?
What?
A dual citizen. Ergo, dual Canadian-Israeli citizen. Therefore, she can't be trusted. Can say that.
I'm going to start that again. Fuck, this is such a mess. I'm sorry, guys. I'm still not getting these sounds and stuff right. Let me
All right,
start
it
that
fixed
again.
itself now.
Because I had see, OBS is such a cunt. You have all of these multiple audio inputs that just insert themselves into your stream. Then you've got to start muting like a whack-a-mole. Fucking annoying.
OBS stresses me out. I don't go near OBS.
It's the only option I got. Otherwise, I'm up for $1,000 a month for this stupid hobby that I'm sort of barely enjoying.
I've been accused.
I feel you, dude.
Personally.
OBS. The one time I used OBS on a stream, I wanted to cry.
I mean, I got it all set up to the point where I liked it. I'm like, look, I've put this much work in. I'm not gonna switch. I can't be bothered switching. But like, with all these problems I'm having, it's like I either don't do it or I get something better. And I've spent so much money on this setup now, so I'm like, But I'm the kind of person that wants to spend the money once and have it. I don't want an ongoing fee every month.
Right.
Jewish.
Anyway.
And a number of listeners here, and maybe they'll have the courage and integrity to speak up, have already messaged me on Twitter saying, oh, well, we know which side you're on, don't we? a dual citizen, ergo dual Canadian Israeli citizen. Therefore, she can't be trusted, can she?
I get this.
See now how Mario just jumped straight in.
People who wrote those messages, any of the people who wrote those messages have the integrity to speak up now and tell me. Why
Well,
did you say
Vivian,
that?
I have a question. If we're talking about conflicts of interest, is it true you work for an Israeli intelligence firm called Black Cube?
No, who are you? No.
Keith Woods. Nice to meet you.
I get accused of being Mossad every time I pop into a space.
I think we're going back to the moving away.
No,
No, it's on our Wikipedia.
See, now Mario jumps in because he's like scared. He doesn't want to see what I wanted to say. I got about 14 seconds to speak in this space. And I was a little bit more than that, maybe a minute. And I said my piece, where I was coming from. And then I was about to go into my Laura Loomer's reporting on the ADL and their links to the Goyim Defense League and all of that stuff. Have you seen any of that?
A little bit. Those are and the Goyim Defense League, they're the red shirt guys that she's like the Nazis that she's been reporting on the last couple of days, right?
Oh yeah.
Right. And I was kind of going to bring that up in just passing and sort of say, well, this is that, and that's what she's breaking at the moment. And she's also a Jewish person, and I was going to talk about her a little bit, but they just cut my mic, man, and they wouldn't let me talk about it. So I don't know why I was invited in the end, but this moment here with Keith Woods and Vivian just blew up. It exploded because she is indeed part of Black. It was at least a part of Black Cube.
Oh yeah, they've been scrubbing her. They've been scrubbing her Wikipedia and everything else. Like, you can scrub it all you want. Like the archives. The minute this tweet went viral, I archived it. I archived her Wikipedia. I archived her Twitter before, like.
Even the Quartering's doing it.
Oh well, we know.
I love this.
Oh well, we know which side you're on, don't we? A dual citizen, ergo dual Canadian Israeli citizen. Therefore, she can't be trusted, can she?
I get this.
People who wrote those messages, any of the people who wrote those messages have the integrity to speak up now and tell me. Why
Well, Vivian, I have a question. If we're talking about conflict of interest, is it true you work for an Israeli intelligence firm called Black Cube?
No, who are you? No.
Who are you?
I get accused of being Mossad every time I pop into a space.
I think we're going back to the moving away.
No, it's on our Wikipedia.
I love this guy. So she just completely disappeared from the internet, and that's a little sketchy. And it's sort of like, even if you're not so into the whole, like, I'm not an anti-Semite. I have nothing against the Jews. Please don't shut me down, YouTube. But like some of these things that are happening with the ADL and all this stuff, it sort of starts to make some of these like wilder theories look a little bit more true, doesn't it? Like the way that these people carry on and behave, the way they are so censorious and go after everything, like they've been doing since 1913, as far as I know. It's pretty.
You mean the ADL?
Yeah, the ADL.
Well, yeah. I mean, for me, I think they're just, I don't see them as being any different than any other radical leftist group trying to censor everyone, shut everyone down, like the Southern Poverty Law Center. I feel like they all kind of serve the same purpose.
SPLC is another one.
Industry.
ADL's really old though.
They just give ammo. They just give ammo to the fucking Nazis and shit, because they're like, all right, so you got a whole bunch of people out there that are like, oh my God, there's a Jewish conspiracy to censor alternate voices and to take over the world, and they run everything. And the ADL's response is to go, hey, these people are saying a bunch of things that are bad about Jews. We should censor them and take them off the internet and not let them talk.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like, what the fuck
do
you expect the response to this is going to be? Like, you're creating a self-fulfilling prophecy here.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst part about it is it doesn't represent most Jews. Yeah,
That's
it
right. It
doesn't
And
doesn't.
the
represent
thing
most
is,
Jews.
the commonality is not that they're Jewish. The commonality is that they're leftist, because it's not
Ex-
like, you
Yeah.
can't have thoughts about trans people without a bolt of lightning coming and striking you down. So I don't think it's any difference. But knowing that there are these people who believe this out there, they just play into it. And maybe that's what they want. Maybe they want, it'll keep them in business, certainly, to have more anti-Semitism.
Exactly. And this is the point.
Exactly.
One of the points
it's just
that
like the homeless people.
Go on, Grifty. So I cut you off.
It's just like the homeless organizations, and it's just like the homeless organizations in California. Like, they're never going to solve the problem with the homelessness crisis, because if they solve the problem, they're ending their career.
Yep.
There's no motivation to actually fix it. It's get as much money as possible so I can inflate my salary, maybe help some homeless people along the way, but never do enough to fix the problem, because the minute I actually fix the problem, I don't have a job anymore.
This is exactly. Now, in the space yesterday, Mario was trying his best to, well, he says he was trying his best to make it a balanced space. He wanted someone from a pro ADL, point of the argument to come in and start speaking that angle. He couldn't find one except for Vivian, who was obviously rushed out of the room like this. But he was sort of saying, well, yeah, their original message, their original mission sounds noble, but I actually would like to take issue with that. I would say that anything that has the word anti as a prefix in its mission is set up for nefarious reasons. Anti anything is not a good way to go about setting up an outfit. Now, are there things that we want to remove from society? Of course there are. However, I would suggest that something like pro something, or pro, whatever the solution is, build it around that instead of like going
I don't
after
know about that. I don't know about that.
Well, if you look through back at
Because,
all these programs throughout history, the war on. Go on.
Like, I'm anti-government. I'm anti.
You're an individual though, and you have. Yeah,
I think that kind of proves his point, though, because I think Daniel is talking about groups. How many of these quote groups that say they're against, like the Republican Party says they're for limited government? Yeah, my ass. Like, so I think it's true that all of these groups that claim that they're against something, it's like, have you ever seen the movie The Witches?
No.
I have a point, I promise.
I see that.
So, like, the witches in the movie The Witches. They want to like kill all the children in the world and eat children. And so the group that they call themselves is the Society for the Protection of Children. And that's exactly Antifa. That's the Anti-Defamation League. That's all of this.
Right. See now, but at least with the Society of the Protection of Children, see now that at least as a title and a mission makes more sense to me to say, like, let's protect this or let's protect that, rather than say, let's go after this or let's go after that. Because, like Antifa, it's all full of shit. And the war on, like, every time you've seen an anti-movement, it's always accelerated that movement. Like whatever whatever they're trying to supposing to counter just explodes. So it's like, I just don't believe it. Once you run out of they're going to run out of defamation. Well, they're going to just start finding it where it doesn't exist. You're going to run out of fascism. Well, they're just going to start inventing it where it doesn't exist.
They're going to make it happen.
They're going to make it happen. And so, I don't know. I just sort of feel like that from its inception, it's always been a terrible outfit. Although it's gone back for so long, it's really hard to say that. Like, I'm sure they've done some noble things in their time. Maybe I should read some of these chats because there's quite a few of them here, and I'm appreciating that. We've got Daniel Rude here, and he's been shadow banned from Rumble. I want to go into that in a little while. I think that's Daniel. Yeah, and he's not even a creator. Well, I'm not sure what's going on with that yet. I'm sort of still having a look into it, but he's been sharing a few things with me on Twitter. Daniel, if you're still in the chat, let me know if that's you. That's you I'm talking about, right? That is because he was unable to send from the stuff that I see him talking about on Twitter. Yet that's me. It's him. So, Daniel, are you able to explain to us in the chat what's happened to you a little bit? Like, because what was it? You were banned from sending some Rumble rants, and now he's been banned from interacting with the platform completely altogether. And when he's spoken to the support team about it and explained himself and the situation, they've just gone completely silent on him. And I think this has just been a bit of a roundabout circle for him now. And he's not even, like I say, he's not even a creator. So like some of the things that people were coming back was with like, well, maybe some of your content's just not appropriate for the platform. He says, well, I don't have content. It was about the things that I was trying to say in the chat. So I'd like to know a bit more information.
I do know. I do know that Rumble's chat code was not theirs. They purchased a cookie cutter like chat code, pasted it into their website. That's why you can't say fuck in Rumble chat, where you can even in YouTube chat. Yeah, it won't let you. You can type it. It'll hit send. It'll hit send. The message will look like it goes through. But if you actually follow through on the chat window, your message never pops up. These are known issues with the Rumble chat.
And have they acknowledged
working,
it? And
from what I understand, and so most of what I know is from watching Nick Rekieta. Because he's a Rumble exclusive creator, he's got a direct line to them, and he actually listens to his chat a lot about the issues specifically with Rumble chat, and has forwarded these issues onto him. That's how I know that it wasn't a like built from the ground up, chat feature. They just,
I think that makes sense as well. If you're
some open source code,
because I guess they had the pressure on themselves to scale up to be the alternative to YouTube. So it's going to make sense that they're going to be buying some sort of products off the shelf and then massaging them to fit. Now, Daniel's written here, Rumble removed my ability to
Rumble.
Rumble. Go on.
Yeah, and of course, those off-the-shelf products are going to have the censorship built in. Already.
Yeah.
It's like using AWS to host your site and then thinking you're not going to have to bow to everything.
Okay, so he's going to give us the wording of his exact Rumble.
Sorry,
Let's see if
website
YouTube...
I think hates me.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Oh, I can see you on the control
hear
room,
you,
though.
Mike.
Yeah, we hear you fine, actually. I'm sorry, Mike.
Sorry,
but we can hear you okay.
Fix it. Is that better?
I mean, we can still hear you, but we can't. Oh, well. No. The little avatar tried to show you for a second. While you're doing that, Daniel said, Rumble removed my ability to Rumble rant after I sent a Rumble rant that was pretty spicy, but not against terms of service. The following is the exact wording of my Rumble rant. Hold on, let me read this first before I don't see what's wrong with this. J6 wasn't an insurrection.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd read that out loud.
Yeah, okay.
Don't read that out loud.
Really?
There's a call to violence in that. Yeah, the second line. And it sucks that it is. It sucks that it is.
It's such a wild stretch, though.
You see, you're in it. It is. It's bullshit.
It's a ridiculous stretch
bullshit.
To the point where I'd like rather not participate.
I'm not supporting it at all. But yeah,
I hear what you're saying, Grifty. I do hear what you're saying, Grifty.
That second that second line, it maybe not a call to violence, an endorsement
But it can be
of violence.
interpreted that, yeah. See, that's you see why it's wrong though, don't you? You can agree it's. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but would you agree that that's it?
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
the wrong way to
It's
interpret
stupid.
it.
It's stupid.
Yeah. So when he speaks
Absolutely.
to the people
Yeah,
at
no.
Rumble,
It's absolutely stupid. So,
it's interesting to
well,
know
they just
like when
released
he's
Rumble Cloud today, so they're
okay. What is Rumble Cloud?
their
think
own
there's a-
cloud hosting service. They're trying to.
Yeah, there's a lag of audio between you and me. That's why we've got a bit of a. It's okay, but so they're coming off Amazon Web Services, is what you're trying to say. So they're going to be less beholden to some of this woke stuff.
Well, they've never been on AWS. They own their own servers, always have.
Okay.
That's why they kind of are a little bit more susceptible to DDoS attacks because they don't have the infrastructure that say AWS does. But they're building it up. But they're offering a cloud hosting service now, kind of in line with like what Netflix does or something like that, where users can buy space on the cloud to host their videos independently, kind of like Tim Pool has been using Rumble on the back end for Timcast for his website. All his back end video hosting on his website is done with Rumble. They're opening that up to everybody.
Is that, you mean his exclusive member stuff? The paywall stuff is all hosted through Rumble, is it? Okay.
Yeah. Correct. Yes. And so now they're basically giving people an alternative to AWS to actually host content that isn't on a free streaming network. You can have a paywalled website like the Daily Wire, like the Blaze, like Timcast, and without using the Locals platform, you can still host your videos on the Rumble Cloud, play them on your website, and not have to be worried about AWS cutting you off because something in your video is bad.
Yeah. And who knows what bad is anymore? I mean, it changes every single day. It changes every single day. I can see Mikey's still with us in the control room, but I'm not sure if I can even hear him anymore.
I don't even hear his audio anymore.
Sorry, by the way, I don't know if you guys can hear me. I can't hear or see anything. I'm gonna reload. Hopefully that'll fix it. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear and I can hear you now, but I'm not sure what you can see. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, and I just want to say real quick, I'm keeping up with chat in YouTube. Daniel Rude, I agree with you. I don't think what you said should be ban worthy, but in the world we live in, where they were able to completely nuke Parler basically overnight because of tying it to January 6th, something like that statement that could be very easily interpreted by the left as endorsing farther violence poses almost an existential risk, particularly if this was much earlier in their existence before they were less insulated.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. It kind of doesn't make it any less frustrating for him though at this time, because I think
not at all.
Well, what's happening with him is that he's getting kind of stonewalled a bit by the support guys there. Whether that's because they just are unable to help him at this time or unwilling to help him at this time, I'm not sure. I would suggest it's the former. But
hey, does it work now?
Hey, yeah, you're back. Hey, Mikey.
Browser. I think this just doesn't work with that browser. I'm sorry, you guys.
That's okay. You're fine. There's a bug in my fucking house. What's going on? Where is it coming from? It's on my face.
All right. Well, hey, Mikey's back. I got to step away for half a second. I'll be right back.
That's fine, man. So,
I
yeah,
got
we
a-
were just
What did I
going on
miss?
about.
I got an
Catch me
8-year-old. I got to go get under control.
Sure, buddy, no worries. We were
Aw.
just talking about how one of our friends, Daniel, in the chat here, has been, he's been kind of shadow banned, well, outright banned from Rumble. Is that right? He can't make Rumble rants, and it was because he wrote something about January 6th, which I've been told not to repeat here because it has a line in what he said could be so far remotely in some stupid person's brain interpreted as a call to violence. So even though it's not. So now Rumble of all places has banned him from interacting with the platform. I don't think, can you even like a video? I don't think you can like anything and stuff like that. And the the people at Rumble haven't been helpful to him at all. So anyway, moving along from that, I was going
Did mine go blank again? Oh my god.
It did, but I can hear you.
Oh my god.
The audio's
Sorry.
been fine. Don't worry. It's okay. I had a guest with like for the whole episode without video once. My first guest had no video.
Yeah, though it sucks that all of these supposed free speech platforms are really not much of one. With Twitter now is doing, I feel like I've come to realize that Elon Musk is kind of an evil genius, that instead of us just being normally suppressed and censored, he got us to pay him to be suppressed and censored.
100% he did. That's
Crazy.
absolutely right. It's crazy and it's genius, and it's sort of like, not that he's the ultra genius everyone says he is, because he actually does a whole lot of just like acquiring things and then just sort of bastardizing him until they look glitzy but they actually don't operate very well. Like the Cybertruck, and like I'm really at a loss for what kind of problems he's solved for the world. What has he actually solved? What problems is he solving? Because electric cars don't solve any issues; they add issues, particularly human rights issues. So that
he certainly didn't solve anything with Twitter to turn around and hire the World Economic Forum.
Yeah, so he's put a WEF leader at Twitter, and we also. Well, we didn't all see that coming, but we sort of saw the writing on the wall once he put Yacarino in. But like, it's the other thing is this circle that he keeps. The circle of people that he keeps is just so frustrating. I don't understand why he trusts these people like Mario and Ian Miles Chong. Because I pulled up this video about Mario, and he is like, it's quite interesting. This guy, upper echelon, he's being sued for $11 million allegedly by Mario Nafwal, because he has exposed Mario because Mario has the largest spaces on Twitter. Let me go back and find his. Let me just find his. All right. Here we go.
I'm in general a little bit skeptical of all these people like this who come out of nowhere. Nobody's ever heard of them before, and then they blow up, and we know nothing about them. And everyone jumps on board. No one is skeptical.
This is what happened with Mario. So, well, apparently. So now he is the CEO. He claims to be from Melbourne, which annoyed me because I don't think he is. He's CEO of IBC Group, which is a very interesting outfit, which I'm still learning about. But he is the host of Twitter's largest spaces, and he's put it right here in his bio. And what appears to be that appears to be true. But what one thing I want to point out is there has been deep dives into this guy and his rise in engagement and fame on Twitter, and his fold within the Elon Musk circle, and it's become quite apparent that up to 65% or even more of his engagement and audience is entirely fake and made up by bots that he purposely built himself. Not himself, but like under his outfit. Let me just play you some of this video.
This guy right here is actively destroying Elon Musk's credibility. Whether or not the billionaire is even aware of that is a discussion for another time. I still believe, some would say naively so, that he is not fully aware of that fact. But again, that's a video for a different day. Let's get the context filled in. Mario Nawfal, a self-professed entrepreneur and crypto mogul, is currently the owner and host of what is, in essence, on paper at least, Twitter's largest
Crypto mogul, red flag.
website.
Was that?
I said crypto mogul is just like red flag. Hey,
I know,
Grifty.
right?
Hey, I'm back.
Hey, buddy, we're back. So we've just got into. Maybe I'll start this again for Grifty. So I was just talking about
I
Mario.
was listening while I was away.
Oh, you were listening. Okay, no worries. So we'll skip ahead.
Nawfal, a self-professed entrepreneur and crypto mogul, is currently the owner and host of what is, in essence, on paper at least, Twitter's largest audio program on the entire website. If you use the platform at all, and even if you don't, by the way, you've probably seen his name at least once or twice. Coverage of breaking news, geopolitics, even sitting US representatives and tycoon billionaires have appeared on his program, as Elon Musk promotes him to be the new face of citizen journalism on Twitter.
Now that's interesting because the message, and I'm not going to show you the message because that's a bit cringe, but in the message, in fact, I'm not going to read off screen just so I can get it accurate. Was Mario hosts the biggest show on Twitter with 6 million weekly listeners. The show has been a hub for blah, 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 blah. Recent guests include Elon Musk multiple times, Hunter Biden, Rudy Giuliani, Mark. Yeah, this is true. He has had all these people on. He has indeed. Hunter Biden was on there. Rudy was on there. Mark and Andreessen. I don't know who the fuck that is. Multiple senators, Mick Mulvaney, Bill Ackman, Mark Cuban, Scott Adams, Dr. Drew, Andrew Yang, Anthony Scaramucci, Vivek Ramaswamy, Peter Schiff, and various lawmakers. Now, this is true. This is very true. Now, the way that they would never have been joining his spaces unless they were already apparently huge. And this is how they got huge. This guy here, Upper Echelon, has sort of like broken it down. He's got, now what I have done is in the description of this YouTube video, I put a link to this video, which is part of a playlist that Echelon has put together. It's very detailed. There's a lot of, he shows you his receipts and all the stuff, how he goes through and proves that there's a lot of bot farming happening. And I don't want to cover it whole cloth here because it's just kind of, it gets a bit boring. But if I can skip to what I've got, this cool like AI summary here, this GPT thing.
There's allegedly a whistleblower too from Mario's organization, someone that worked with him. I've seen leaked emails and stuff.
What's he blowing the whistle on?
On the bots.
Well, on the bots, and there's also other issues with rug pulling, like, and all sorts of stuff with his other business ventures. He's currently under the the FBI and the SEC, they are, let me see. According to this breakdown, let's see, just to jump to the timestamp.
Possibly be. Now, I did promise the spice, so here it is. There are, according to sources familiar, FBI and SEC probes into Mario Nawfal and his businesses taking place right now. I can't.
So there you go. So that's happening right now. And this was posted a month ago, this video. Again, it's part of a playlist, which I suggest you go and find for yourself through the link in the description here. I didn't post all of his videos, but like just, yeah, you'll make your way there through that link. And it gives you all the receipts on how this guy has pumped his thing up from like, and it shows private messages and stuff, like how he sits there and he's talking with this guy from Wind.Solutions, which is a bot farming agency. And they were going through the details about how they were, you know, how fast they could roll these things out, how risky it was going to be. Can we apply this to the spaces as well as the profiles? Then he goes in to explain how Mario doesn't just own his own personal account. He owns a number of these other ones that are a part of this big bot farming network. It's like Solana NFT notifications. He owns that and operates that as well. And there's a bunch of other ones. So this guy that runs
everybody's favorite Malaysian grifter is also implicated in all of this.
And what fucking annoys me is that in one of these private messages to Elon Musk from Mario is Mario like bigging up Ian Miles Chong as like a huge supporter and blah 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 blah. It's like this guy has the worst circle of friends, and I just sort of think,
or maybe the best for whatever reasons or purposes or interests that he has.
I know. I think he has terrible judgment. I really do. I think Elon Musk has very terrible judgment, and it shows. It might look like what I get really annoyed with is when people say he's the richest man in the world when he's not. It's just not. How does anyone know that to start with? And do you think the richest person on earth would allow that to happen? To allow their wealth to be shown? Have we never heard of a Rothschild or a Rockefeller? Do we really believe that David Rockefeller died at 102 worth $2 billion? Really? Come on. Come the fuck on. There's women in Australia with more money than that.
So they always quantify those lists as saying that like the royal families, the Saudi royal families and the sheikhs and the Emirates and all those their wealth isn't calculable.
Well, none of their
to
wealth
like
is
Elon.
Calculable. Even Elon's is not
Right,
calculable.
and it's going to be the same
couldn't calculate it.
Well, see, no, that's the thing. His is precisely calculable because it's not real. It's all just numbers on a spreadsheet. The thing about the Rothschilds and the sheikhs in the Middle East and the Saudi royal family and all is their wealth is real. They have golden statues weighing 8,000 pounds and, just the amount of physical, actual wealth that they possess. You can't put a number on that because
do we know
it
how
might
much
sell
physical,
for one thing.
Do we know how much physical, tangible wealth Elon Musk and Bill Gates and any of these other people that are often touted as the top 10 richest people?
Yeah.
How many physical assets do we okay, you might be right that we can precisely calculate what's in the public sphere of what they own, and it's usually fake because it can evaporate overnight, like see also Elizabeth Holmes from Theranos, who went from $9 billion to zero in a night, and now is in jail for the next 11 years. But
well, I think with a lot of them, it's the appearance of having wealth that gets them more influence.
Absolutely, and I think you need to keep that up. I think that's part of the game. But
well, and I mean,
I don't
look
think
at Elon's purchase of Twitter, and that's a perfect example. Like, if he truly was like the richest man in the world, he would have liquidity. He wouldn't have to liquidate so many shares of Tesla.
Exactly.
To buy Twitter.
And plus he had other
wealth
people.
Is exactly
other people financed it as well, like
his
some of the
wealth
Saudis
is what people think it is.
So it doesn't even belong to him, really. It kind of actually belongs to a group of people still. So when I take issue with a lot of these sort of given statements that we operate off. Fuck, this bug is so annoying. Like, I don't have bugs in my house, man.
No, I gotta push back on that a little bit. Because, like, I own a business and I have people that help me out with money early on to get my business started. They don't own my business.
Did you
They're
pay them back?
investors in my business. I'm making payments to them.
So you're paying them back. So then that's a different situation.
His arrangement.
That's private. I shouldn't ask you that. I apologize.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I put it out there. So no issues at all. But it's similar. His arrangement with them was that they could keep their percentage share of the company silently because the goal has always been to relist Twitter or X.
Yeah.
And take it public again. And when that happens, they'll have access to, pre-IPO shares of the company equal to the value that they had when they came in. So they don't have any actual operational control over the company. Because at the end of the day, Elon is good for their money. If If he tanked X and X
I don't
just
believe
got
that.
nuked,
I actually don't believe that. I don't believe that they have no operational control. I absolutely do not believe that. You can't put in billions
On
of
paper.
dollars into something
On paper.
Yeah, on paper, sure, but in reality, what I'm talking about here, we're talking about no one hands over billions of shekels and expects to have no say in the game. No one.
Well, and
Unless you're
especially when
an
your
idiot.
whole purported reason for doing that and vastly overpaying for it is free speech.
Exactly.
And when he's not even doing that, I don't buy anything he's been selling.
Well, and I posted something just the other day. I said there's a 1-to-1 linear coefficient between ad revenue and freedom of speech. We've seen it happen with YouTube. Now, YouTube in the early days used to be like BitChute. There was just everything on there. It was just nonsense and good stuff and in between and everything. It was unmoderated, and some of it's got a little bit weird, and that's what we loved about it. Over time, as people started making more and more money on there, it became less and less profitable for people. And it's just continued to dwindle, and they've continued to make it harder and harder and harder. Yes, recently they made it like that you could be monetized at 500 followers, but it's not a full monetization thing. And the revenue sharing that people are getting is like, remember a couple of years ago, it got cut by about 70%, and then it was cut up another 70%.
It's the only monetization that counts anymore, because ad rev, unless you're Mr. Beast or anything like that, ad rev just isn't. You're never going to make money off ad share. No. So the only monetization that counts now is opening up to direct community-based funding, which to me is the optimal means of,
I think so,
of getting your earnings off of this. If you're reliant on the advertisers, and that's what you're saying, if you're reliant on the advertisers, you're inherently going to self-censor. No one has to tell you not to say something. You're going to not say it just to protect your revenue.
Exactly right. And there's been a number of people that have been having success at this, at like cultivating their own communities. They've been able to support themselves over time. Like originally they were sort of beholden to the beast, and then slowly but surely they'd move their earnings into a spot where it was coming all from the community. They were able to offer more exclusive stuff on Locals and Patreon and all sorts of other stuff. It's good we have those tools, but like you say, I think that the optimum goal is to just you have your own network, but like it's going to become a sort of a thing. Like every single creator is going to be like their own. Well, it already is that. It's sort of like your own.
That's
TV
what it
channel,
is now,
isn't it?
It
is already that.
I don't pay for cable anymore. So look at it this way. This is how I look at it, because I'll be 40 in April. So I don't know where you guys are age-wise, but I remember a day where I used to pay.
Just turned.
Okay.
No,
so
I'm 21.
Yeah, always.
Oh,
Mike, always. But I remember a day where I'd pay $90 a month for my cable bill. And the reason my cable bill was so high is because $6 of it had to go to ESPN, and another $3 of it had to go to CNN, and another, $4 went to Bravo or something like that. And these are channels
that must have been for your wife.
Well, no, it's just in the package.
No way Grifty was paying for Bravo for himself.
No, they make you. They force you into those shitty packages.
Right, you buy this package and you have to pay for all these other channels that you don't watch.
Yeah.
Well, nowadays I pay maybe $60 a month in subscription fees, but it's $5 to Nick Ricada. It's $5 on his Locals. It's $5 to someone else for to Lotus Eaters for their website.
And that's exactly what's happened with me as well. It's sort of, I don't pay any of the Amazon Prime, the Netflixes, any of that shit, but I'll pay the membership fees and I try and avoid paying I try and avoid joining people through YouTube. If there's another way that I can donate directly or do that contribution, because YouTube will take half or even more of that. So I'm always going to try and.
I think it's 40% of memberships.
Memberships is 40%, is it?
Oh, they're crazy on YouTube. They're crazy.
Yeah, so if you're doing a
wow.
$5 YouTube membership, I think the creator only gets like $3
at the most.
I know with super chats, the creator only gets about 30% of what the actual super chat is. Because they got to.
No, YouTube
They
gets
take-
30%.
It's better than the
Mm.
channel membership. The channel membership, they basically take it all almost.
Yeah,
And
if you do a
have to bump
$10
it
super
up.
chat, if you do a $10 super chat, the creator gets 7, YouTube gets 3.
Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that for
Yeah.
experience?
Not
Okay.
for my channel, but yeah,
I do.
yes, I'm very
Okay,
confident
Mike,
in
you can
that.
confirm that? All right.
Yes.
See, I know we're
Sometimes
near
it feels like
monetization.
they take more, but yeah, apparently it's that. But
Well,
then you got to
channel
pay tax
if the
again as
super
well on
chat
top of that,
comes
right?
from iOS, if the super chat comes from
Oh.
iOS, Apple takes 25%, I think,
Ooh, I
and
didn't know that.
There you
then
go.
YouTube takes 30%.
So then you're getting so
So
25 plus 30, so you're getting less than half, 45%.
yeah, but that's only through iOS. If
Which
they're
is
on their phone
majority of
or
people.
on the
Like, well, not
I mean,
true. That's not
Android's
true.
probably 50-50. It's probably 50-50.
Yeah, you're right. And it's YouTube, so people don't always watch on their phone. But a lot of people do. A lot of people do watch on their phone. I know I've done it and super
80%,
chatted through my
80%
phone.
of yeah, 80% of podcast views are on handhelds, phones or tablets.
That's surely audio only ones though, right? I can't imagine watching a video thing on
No.
my phone. It's like, wow.
That's
Even
all
on
I
my
ever
iPad,
use.
it's too small.
I do unless
All I
it's, like,
ever
very
use. When you
long.
guys see me in chats, I'm always on my phone.
Really? Right now,
Always.
I have in front of me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screens, including, well, the sixth one
Oh
is my
my
phone.
I
So
own one
5.
laptop.
I can't afford 6 screens.
Yeah, I own one laptop that cost me
Two of them.
$200 at Walmart.
Oh, don't even get me
2 of them I
started on
stole
this
from work.
laptop. Can I bitch for a second?
Yeah.
Back when I was less of a broke bitch a couple years ago, I spent more money on this friggin' MacBook Pro than I have ever spent on anything in my life, and it is nothing but problems. For the money I spent on this shit, it ought to have a lever come out that gives you hand jobs. What I spent on this. You shouldn't have to worry about any technical difficulties for what I had to spend on this shit.
Doesn't it break real, like the screen, doesn't it? What model is it? Like the
keyboard's
MacBook Pro?
broken. Yeah, it's horrible.
Fucking Apple, man. And like,
Apple
because I
products
remember.
are scams.
They are, man.
I'm
Like the last one I
grifty. Trust
bought.
me, they're grifting you.
Well, I bought this last Apple
That
thing I
would
bought
be-
was this iPad. And it's actually pretty good. So I just burped into the microphone. I'm sorry. That was
Grifty, that's like a
disgusting.
video
Sorry.
series you should do, like exposing different grifts. You could be like the grift expert.
I could. Hey, in the chat, Chris Rowland. No, Android doesn't take any off of YouTube because Google owns the Play Store and Google also owns YouTube.
Hey,
So
Chris.
yeah. And hey, what's up, buddy?
We love him.
Yeah, hey everyone.
So for
I'm
YouTube,
so-
but those numbers are accurate for Rumble, which is why
yeah, okay.
Rumble doesn't have rants on Android yet.
So when you now that brings me to another topic, accuracy on Rumble. I want to show you something
I've
real
seen your
quick.
tweets about this. I would like
And
to know what you're learning.
I'm still learning and I don't have anything definitive yet. So like I just want to show you something real quick. My channels.
Is that
hold
Sam
on.
Smith?
Who? Where? Oh, in the last scene. I hope not. He's fucking revolting. He actually ran it. He was here in Sydney for Mardi Gras or World Pride or whatever it was.
Oh.
And I literally bumped into him in the street, and he was staring me down. It was disgusting. It was one of the worst, horrible moments of my life. I'm like, oh, that yuck, that's Sam Smith, and he's giving me the eye.
Who's this?
Sam Smith, the chunky
okay.
guy, with grinder sauce coming all out of him. Yeah. So this is my YouTube channel. I mean, my Rumble channel, right? Now, you'll see this one here, episode 1, hour 51 minutes, 4 views. what happened was, see how it's got part 2 there? I accidentally stuffed up the stream, had to stop and start again, and that was fine. But the first one is over here. It went for 16 minutes. It's just dead air, absolute dud. It's got 100 views on it. This is
Thank
complete
you. I was
garbage.
I wonder
And the
you were gonna say the
actual
same thing.
2-hour episode has 4, and it had 0 until like just yesterday or the day before. So like, I can see right now that this on Rumble, this stream has 51 views because it was scheduled ahead of time. Now, when I go to check on it, there will be 0 interaction. There's 0
Yes, thank
interaction.
you. I thought this was just me that thought this.
No, I don't think. Now, so if I go into
So
this one here, there's 100 views on it. There might be 1 like. No, there's not even 1 like or a comment out of 100 views.
Same exact thing on mine.
Whereas I go to the YouTube
Can I-
version of it, and there is like 15 views or something, but like 4 likes and 5 comments and actual interaction with it. Now, I want to know if Rumble is aware of a bot farming, because obviously if you go through and look at the Mario Nafual stuff in your own time, it will open your eyes to some shit. The bot farming is very sophisticated, and it's getting harder and harder to identify. Now, whether Rumble is responsible for this or not, I'm not sure. But if there is an issue that exists on that platform, they need to accept, be open about it and root it out, or they need to confess and just say what it is. Because as the only viable alternative to YouTube, there was this long time gripe that everyone had was like, well, I don't want to move over there because I don't have any views. No one watches it. So all of a sudden, within the last few weeks, I'm starting to get magical numbers. Some people think to the point where they can move exclusively over to Rumble. Now, what I worry is that those people that have exclusively moved over shut off their YouTube now. They may almost not be being seen by anyone. But is that true? Sorry, Grifty, go ahead. Sorry,
no, I was saying I'm one of those people that
Oh.
only streams exclusively to Rumble.
Yeah, and
that's
Cosmic
just
does
me.
it
Your
too.
Rumble seems very different than like mine or something, because I've seen
So
this.
I have
Oh, sorry.
I have a theory on this. Okay,
Go on.
so small YouTube channels, you and me, Daniel, in particular.
And me.
Mike, now you are over the 1,000, 2,000 sub mark.
Oh.
Mike, you're a
So
superstar on
I'm
my channel
talking
right now.
very, very small channels, under 1,000. Yeah, under 1,000 subs. They get a very high percentage of interaction per view because it's a very tight-knit group of people that is in our circle. Particularly you and me, Daniel, is what I'm like referencing. So if I stream on YouTube right now, a lot of the same people that watch you are going to be in my chat. A lot of the same people that watch Waifu Kron are going to be in our chat.
Yeah, and I've noticed those things. I've noticed those crossovers.
Same people that watch Cosmic. And they're all, so it's a community based around smaller creators. And that's cool.
Yeah.
So you get a very high percentage of interaction per view from those people, but you but you very rarely see someone other than those people. You're not getting any exposure on Rumble since they have changed the home screen. So Rumble does have an algorithm. People don't think Rumble has an algorithm. It does have an algorithm, but it's not an algorithm in your feed. Your feed is your feed. It's chronological by the people you subscribe to. But the home screen of Rumble is constantly cycling live streams. So live streams get traction, and you'll see new people, you'll build new followers if you're streaming on Rumble. Standalone videos do nothing. There's no distribution for just a 10-minute video on Rumble.
Mine is.
Go on, Mike.
I was just mine is exactly like Daniel was saying. Maybe it's different. Like when I saw you on Rumble, Grifty, like you have an actual channel with actual viewers and stuff. For me, I'll have it on YouTube and I'll have maybe 40 viewers, 50 viewers, and on Rumble, on live streams I'm talking about, without having shared the link, posted it anywhere, it'll say I have like hundreds of viewers, 0 comments, 0 likes. I've never once gotten a Rumble rant. So for mine, at least, I think those numbers are total bullshit. And it's made me just stop posting on Rumble because I'm like, it says I have all these views. It'll have my views on my live streams on Rumble. It'll say I have like 4 or 5 times the views on YouTube without a single comment or like or anything. So I've kind of stopped posting on there because I'm like, it's just bullshit numbers. I mean, maybe I should keep trying. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like to know what they count as a view. So, like on YouTube, we know for it to be a view, you have to click on the video, get past the ads if you don't have YouTube Premium, and watch at least 10 seconds of the video before it counts as a view. Yes.
Oh, okay.
10 seconds.
I thought you had to. Yeah, right. 10 seconds.
I thought it was
so you have to actually engage the video. It can't just be on your feed where it's auto.
I think that's fair though. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to actually engage the video, make it past the ads, and watch for 10 seconds. That's a view on YouTube. Who knows what a view on Rumble is? Because like a view on Twitter, we've had this argument. Twitter's been a great example, and I refuse to use the fake pronoun X. It's Twitter.
Same.
No, you don't get to identify as X.
Yes.
It's Twitter. Deal with it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But
no
on
one's
Twitter,
doing it.
there's this whole argument, like when the Donald Trump and Tucker Carlson interview came out, and they were like, it got, however many billion views. And it's like Twitter's entire active user base, that was like 25% of Twitter's entire user base.
I know.
Are you telling me that Twitter's entire user base, 25% of them all across the world watched the Tucker Carlson interview? No. Obviously.
Well, I did, and I know it was popular,
These
but
people are so
no,
full of
not
shit.
that much.
Yeah. But
Sorry,
on
I'm talking
Twitter,
about
a view.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
A view is literally just a scroll by, and they're not unique. So if I see the same tweet when I'm doom scrolling, 3 times in one day, that's three views.
You can in your own back end go through and see the actual unique views and like the view time and all of that.
Only for your own tweets.
Yeah.
You can't see it publicly for other people's tweets.
That's right. No, you can't. Yeah.
So
and there is, look, and I don't want, is there, because like, I was trying to get in the mindset when I was watching this stuff with Upper Echelon and Mario, and I'm not coming to his defense here, but I want to sort of like put the idea out there. Is it always a terrible idea to use a bot farm? Because the way that they were talking about it is, what we're going to do is we're going to turn the service on to drive the engagement towards you. Then we turn it off. So then we remove the illegitimate users, leaving left the newcomers that we have brought with that inflated engagement.
I've talked about this before.
There may be some utility to that. But you
I
be
bought
honest.
followers. I bought followers when I first started my Twitter account.
But you know that's against the terms to stop. That's
Allegedly,
against the terms of service.
It was whatever. They're all gone. Like it is what it is.
Fine.
They're all gone.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. They're all gone. They disappear daily.
That's crazy.
No. Because the funny part is, I watched it happen because it was all before Eliza Blue.
Yeah.
It was before any of that. So I bought 1,000. I didn't buy a ton. I bought 1,000.
Yeah.
It was $5. Yeah. I bought 1,000 and I watched them come on through 2 days. Yeah, $5.
$5.
$5.
I feel like there's no point to it though. I feel like it doesn't do anything.
No, listen, I bought it and I watched my follower count go up to right around 1,000 in about 48 hours. And by 5 days later, it was back down to 2.
Wow. So it's like,
By the way,
well, we gave you what you paid for, but then we put it away again.
There's no, what am I going to do? And to me, it was great because it was like, okay, lesson learned. You're not gonna cheat this.
yeah.
You know,
And you look up, like, if we Google one right now, let's just look.
By the way, since you mentioned her, we have some breaking news to report. Eliza Blue has been trafficked once again.
Oh,
She is
for
caught
fuck's sake.
on the freeway. It is bumper to bumper. She's in an Uber, and she's in traffic.
oh my God.
She is a survivor.
Quick, let's let Elon know. Buy Twitter followers. Plan starting it. Like, there's these people, and like they'll say, like, we actually give you real followers, like the actual genuine followers. It's like, it's so.
Yeah, that's not the one I used.
I feel like
If you
it's
find
so
the one I
obvious,
used,
though,
I'd
when
tell
people do that like there's no point to it.
Well, there is one
No,
called
there's-
Wind.
There to my knowledge, there's no point to it. I never saw any benefit from it. It was just $5 lost in the wind.
I think it's Wind.Solutions. Is that? Oh no, how is it? I don't know. That's the one that I don't know if it even exists anymore. Probably doesn't even exist anymore. That's the one that Mario was allegedly using. But anyway, I think there could be there might be a legitimate reason for like some people, because like he was like they were trying to say in this chat, there was like, oh well, yeah, it did drive some genuine engagement towards his spaces, and then the plan was to turn it off. But I don't think they ever did. And the fact that we didn't even know that half is apparently over 65 at a conservative estimate, over 65% of his current engagement right now to this very day is entirely fake. And it's against the terms of service completely. And it's one of Elon's fans, like it's one of his buddies in his circle, just like Chungus and fucking who's that other who's those other dick squeezers that really piss me off that he's always the Krasensteins. God. They're just as gay as the Island Boys.
Down my throat more than some guys I've dated.
Here's my thing about the bots with Mario, though, is does it matter? Like, really,
yes,
at
does.
this point in time? In what aspect? How does it matter?
Because what's happening is it's shifting the paradigm in such a way that no one smaller can get an edge in. All of the
But
he's
you
made
were
millions
invited
and
on his
millions of
stream.
dollars off this, huh? I still
But
have
you
no
were
idea
invited
why I
on
was.
his space. So I mean, you can't say that nobody does, because that opportunity is huge.
Did nothing really for me. I mean, they didn't even let me.
No, well, that's because they booted you because you were too spicy or something. Whatever happened.
Did you hear what I said?
I haven't. I can't stand his listening.
Wasn't
to
even close to spicy.
Him and Suleiman. I just can't. They're
exactly.
They're like
so I was like,
in general.
But
the
why
only
I
reason
say does it matter is because now that it's happened, it is the space on Twitter for these panel discussions. Regardless of how he got there, the people he gets on the panels now are real people that people want to hear talk.
yeah, so that's a valid point, I guess. And this kind of goes to what I was sort of saying before. Maybe there is some utility to having bot farms, but it's sort of like it's still real shitty when you see because at this point now that the way that Elon's changed it is that this fake engagement can actually put you over the line into monetization and earn you cash, whereas the rest of us aren't even I have to 10x my engagement. 10x.
Do you think
even scrape over
Elon's
eligibility?
paying Mario on his bots?
No.
Do you think Elon's paying Mario on his bots? No way. No way. He knows about them. He knows.
So why is
about
he still on the
it's
fucking
public
platform?
Information.
Why the bots
because
still
it's good
available
for
on
business.
Like no one else can do it then. So it's rules for he gets his own separate rules in terms of service. separate from everyone else?
I mean, that's the world.
No, that's Twitter right now.
No, that's the world.
Well, in various
That's the
examples, you
world.
can point that
People
out,
with-
but I mean,
people
like,
with
yeah,
money-
well, we
look,
try and point it out.
perfect example. I
Is
own
that
a
okay
contracting
then?
business. I own a contracting business. I don't have a bunch of extra money. When I want to go get a building permit, I have to do it by the book every
Yeah.
step of the way, and it's
Yep.
a pain in the ass. And I have
Mhm.
to, you know, to get that building permit. But another contractor who's just starting out, whose daddy has millions of dollars, can
I have
just
experience in
slip
this.
$1,000 into the inspector's pocket, and all their problems go away, and they get to shortchange things. But at the end of the day, my business will be more successful because I have to do the work properly. Whereas he can cut corners because he's paying off the inspector.
Well, I unfortunately have the opposite example to tell you here in Australia. I used to work for a company called Americentric. It's owned by a man named Harry Triguboff. He's one of the richest men in Australia.
Okay.
And worth many billions of dollars. He's a very crazy guy, and he's built half of Sydney. Basically, all the towers and all the housing developments, everything. Like half of the buildings in Sydney
So
and
he's Trump down
other
under.
cities, by the way. Yeah. He's not originally from here. I think he was born in China, but he's not Chinese. He's
Okay.
like he's got a really weird background and strange accent. He's a white guy. But I think he's originally from China. But anyway, he's developed half of Sydney, and he's so dodgy. He's worth billions of dollars. He starts putting in foundations before planning approvals are even submitted. No one else can fucking do that. No one else can do that. Now he is still worth, I think, $15 billion to this day. You can't say that he's not been successful at that and that he hasn't been able to crush everyone else beside him.
Obviously, yes, money can push you through. And when you get to a certain level of wealth, the income generated from your business is minuscule compared to the income generated from the interest on your bank accounts. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what those mega rich people have going for them, is it doesn't matter what they have to do with their businesses. It doesn't matter if their businesses are profitable because they have so much money sitting in, CD accounts or in, mutual funds on the stock market that are just constantly churning out 2-3% interest every year. But because they have $1 billion in 5 different accounts, 2 to 3% every year is millions upon millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So they never run out of money.
Yeah. There's always clever ways.
Yeah, and that's the thing. But like I said, if it's just 2 startup companies at the same time, me and Joe Schmo, but Joe Schmo's dad gives him $100,000 to put in the bank, and he's starting out and he's getting all these, cutting all these corners on these jobs, but he's paying the inspectors so that the permits go through and the inspections go through. 3 years from now, he's going to have a bunch of decks that are collapsing, a bunch of fences that got blown over by the wind, and his business will be out of business because the reputation will be destroyed so bad that there's not.
I think you've hit mute, but you just hit mute.
Oh shit, my bad.
Yeah, you're back
whereas
now.
me, I might only get half as many jobs done for these first couple years because I'm waiting 2 weeks for this building permit and another 2 weeks for this inspection, and that takes time off my year that I can get my jobs done. But 2 years from now, I'm going to have 50 loyal customers that are going to be giving me great reviews because my stuff was done by the book and it was done right, and my company will explode whereas his company will collapse. So I don't worry as a capitalist, like at the core of who I am, I'm a capitalist. I don't worry about people cutting corners to get to the top, because if you cut corners to get to the top, you're always going to fall. Look at SBF. Look at Sam Bankman-Fried. You know, sure.
America,
is he going to go to jail for what he did? No. Should he?
No.
Probably.
Definitely.
But he's not. He doesn't have the life he had. It's all gone. Like, he might have enough money to not be worried for the rest of his life.
Yeah,
but
it's
he's
still
not
better
a
than
mega
most people.
right. But he's
Yeah,
not
that's-
mega rich anymore.
Well, that's
It's
the
gone.
difference between, but hold on, having enough to support yourself for the rest of your life and have no worries about that is significant. You know, the number one reason for self-deletion is monetary issues. I don't actually, I'm probably making that up, but I would suggest that's what it is. It's one of the major issues for self-deletion is insolvency. And
Well, I know it's definitely one of the it's the number one reason for divorce in America. I know that.
Yeah.
And
So
I
the
assume
difference
it's probably
between being
similar
able
across
to
the planet or across the world.
Yeah, so just like even not being able to say you're rich, but just say I'm solvent enough to never have to worry about my home or food for the rest of my life. So long as I don't be extravagant and be ridiculous, that is, and that's like a whole universe of difference between what most people have.
Yeah, but
like
at least in America, anybody can do that. And anybody can do that.
Yeah, see, I like
you can download Uber on your phone, and if you're willing to work, 10, 12 hours a day to be your own boss and deal with some rough spots at first while you're learning the tricks of the system and actually go on the computer and read the message boards, you can provide for yourself. I don't buy this mentality in America that like, oh, it's too hard, I can't take care of myself. No, it's a bunch of fucking weak ass bitches that don't want to work.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the fucking world is run by now. I feel like the inmates are in charge of the asylum.
And it's all moving in that direction because, once they put us in lockdowns again, it's just going to be like, well, here's your COVID payments. Like they did. They were giving everyone $500 a week or something stupid.
Not me.
Here. Oh, well, they were here. They were just shoveling money out to people. I was still working, so I didn't get anything. But, like, I was earning good money.
I meant lockdowns. Ain't happening. I ain't doing it.
Oh, no, same. I didn't do it last time.
I didn't do it last time. I'm not doing it this time.
I don't think everyone quite realizes how insane it was here. Like, it's gotten very swept under the rug. In 2020, I was traveling basically every week. When you landed in New York, the military would be there to interrogate you. So every week, I would just be chased through an airport because I would just walk right past them and they would just stalk you through the airport screaming at you, and I would just like walk quickly. They wanted you to fill out all these forms with every possible thing. They had my number and they sent me a text message that because I had traveled, they needed me to stay at a hotel that I can't leave for 2 weeks. I'm like, you are out of your mind if you think that's happening.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it wasn't, most of it was, I mean, it wasn't like legally mandatory, but a lot of people were weak enough to believe that it was. It was psychologically mandatory to a lot of weak ass bitches, like Grifty said.
Yeah. Yep. Because people are saying they're not going to comply. It's all over Twitter. It's all over everything. It's all over social media. We're not going to comply. We're not going to comply. But people already are. People already are. People were so willing to do this. They invited it with open fucking arms. I have zero.
And let me tell you, the only thing I would comply for the last time, because I didn't see an alternative, was wearing the mask on the fucking plane. I'm not even doing that this time, and I hope others will do that en masse.
So this is the thing. What's going to happen?
They're going to bring that back.
So you're just going to have to not fly, right?
Or just wait till it takes off and take it off and tell them to kick rocks and fly a different airline.
Yeah, you get put on a no-fly list.
No, I agree. I agree with Daniel though. I think you have to not fly, and that's easy for me to say because I don't fly. I don't travel. I live in rural Delaware. I don't ever leave the cornfields. Like I love it here. If I go somewhere, I drive. So it's easy for me to say. But Scott Adams, do you guys know who Scott Adams is?
Of course.
Yeah.
Daniel? Yeah.
I'm aware
this
of it.
morning, well, he's the creator of Dilbert. He's a podcaster. But he's a pretty smart guy. And this morning he was saying on his podcast, like, the first commercial airline, and if all of them do it at once, then it has to be all of them that try to bring back these mandates. They need to be put out of business. And if that destroys the commercial air sector until someone else rises up in that to fill the void, so be it.
Good.
So be it. But people have to have enough fucking guts to say, no, not only, I'm going to take it off once we're in midair, but if you even ask me to put this thing on my fucking face in some form of kabuki theater, because we know it doesn't work, then I'm not going to pay you money.
Plus, there's also there's data now that there's so many toxins that leach from those single-use masks.
Yeah,
particularly in warm weather, it aspirates even more out of the fabric. So it's actually it's very bad for your health to and they litter the planet. Someone put this comment in my thing, and I never even thought about this before, because there's all these single-use pieces of equipment, swabs, the fucking packets that they come in, the masks, the packets that they come in, everything. It has to come in a package and a thing, and then there's all these bottles of fucking, like this shit everywhere. And I hate this bug. Fuck off. There's a bug in my house. But there is so much extra litter. I would love to be able to quantify. It'd be wonderful if someone could go out there. I don't know how you would do it, but someone would be able to quantify how much extra litter there's been from the COVID stuff, from all of this, like all of the even.
Yeah, they stopped caring about the environment real fast.
Fucking oath they did. And now they're going to bring it all back. And so, like, all you're going to see in the gutters is like used syringes. They were already there, but like next to like used masks. And I've seen people blowing their nose on them and then keep wearing it. It's just like, the fucking this savages. These people are savages. Anyway, before we end, because we've got about 20 minutes left, I guess, before we wrap up. Unless you guys need to run, that's cool. But I want to.
I'm sorry, I gotta get going in a minute.
Oh, okay.
That's fine, Mikey.
I'm so sorry for the tech problems.
Here you go, Daniel. Here's an answer for you. The COVID-19 pandemic is estimated to generate up to 7,200 tons of medical waste every day, much of which is disposable masks. And I'm guessing that's probably just in the United States, because that's an MIT News, July 20th, 2021. So that's 7,200 tons times 2,000. So that's 14,000 pounds of trash.
That's in America, where there's a relative etiquette. Like, it's not the best, but it's like there's at least some etiquette amongst the society there of keeping the place clean. Whereas you look at China, there is no etiquette like that. And there's so many billions of people there. And so those are stats for America, we're assuming. Imagine you map that out to places like China, India, where they don't have the same etiquette, and they just throw shit on the street, and it doesn't matter, and it goes into the waterways and into the fucking, Anyway, Mikey, you said you had to go. I'm sorry to keep you.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for the tech problems. Thank you so much for having me, though.
Thank you for coming. You're the best.
You guys got to come on mine.
Excuse me. Both of you need to be on my channel next.
Yes.
You got to share the grift here, people.
Let's do it. Anytime for you, my love.
I would gladly come on. I'm sorry, and it's because it's really daunting trying to host. You could see at the start, I'm like, where do I go?
No,
what
you're
do I do?
great.
I was supposed to be more organized, have more stuff lined up for you, but then when it comes to turning the camera on, you're like, oh shit, like this is really hard.
Yeah.
And Mikey, I take my hat off to you.
Suggestion to both of you, real quick.
Wait, he was gonna take his hat off to me.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Mikey, I really am impressed with how you managed to do yours, because I've watched you and you do these live streams by yourself with no guests. Not always, but sometimes you do them by yourself. and you managed to just not be awkward somehow. I don't know how you do
What?
this. So like,
Oh my God,
don't-
thank you. I
I'm
never
really
in my life
impressed
thought I
with
was
you.
told that. I feel like I'm just a bundle of awkwardness and neuroses.
No, you're
No,
friendly.
you look
you're
fine,
friendly
man.
with the camera. Yeah, the
Aw.
You're
camera's your
good.
friend. You
I'm jealous
you
of
talk
your
to it
good.
naturally. But no, I learned about this new website, and I don't have the actual website. I'll DM it to you guys later. But Robert Gouveia talks about it on his website. And I watch him for a lot of legal updates. It's called a mind map, and it's literally this interactive like flow chart that you can do, and you can store your clips into it so that you never have to leave the page. The clips are already built into it, and you can move from one story to the next.
This is like an organizational thing.
Oh yeah,
an organizational tool.
It made my autism so happy when I started messing around with it. I was like, oh my God, I can organize my thoughts.
That's awesome.
That's
yeah,
great news.
Grifty,
I'll send you guys the
show
link.
is next.
Definitely. You guys
Awesome.
definitely both got to come on.
I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for having me.
See you, Mikey.
Thank you, Mikey.
Bye,
Love
bro.
you. See
Love
you,
you.
mate. Now, I set this scene up with just like, we're just going to leave that there because like if I go back to just one guest, it's going to have, oh no, that's fine. That's fine. It still works like that. Great. We can do this.
Yeah, it looks good.
All right. So, we might wrap this up soon anyway. I just wanted to just watch one more because I got a couple of things to do. It's 12:44 here, and I actually have to meet someone at
AM
1.
or PM?
PM. So it's just
PM.
after. It's just after lunch.
It's
yeah,
noon.
just after lunch on Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm on Thursday.
Man, you're
still
like
Wednesday.
almost a full 12 hours ahead of me.
Yeah, we're 16 hours ahead of some parts. Well, depending on where you are, depending on where I am and where you are, we can be anywhere
East
between
Coast.
12 and 16 hours ahead. I'm also on the East Coast, so it'll be 12, yeah. Depending on the daylight savings, because we both have daylight
That's
savings
nuts.
time at different times as well. So when I have to schedule these things, I write out, yeah, I'm going live Wednesday night, 9 p.m. But for me, it's actually Thursday morning, 11 a.m. And so I have to work out whether you're in daylight savings time or
Right.
not. And so I have to constantly check this. Well, it's a bit of a head fuck. But anyway, I want to go through
That's
some of these chats.
insane.
I'm so happy
That's
with these
insane.
chats.
Much
People have actually
respect
been
for it.
really cool. Yeah. No, I mean, like, I want to stay in line with the US because that's my core audience. That's what my show is about. It's Stateside Safari. I wanted it to be Americentric because, look, my country's so boring, and yours is where it's all happening. It's where the culture is exported from. It has the biggest
Well,
impact
yours is
on the Western societies.
terrifying.
It is terrifying. It is terrifying. So, yeah, I really, really would love to move to America. Grifty, can I ask you that gadget, is that like a noise reducing shroud around your microphone? Is that what that is?
Right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. Great. So oh wow. So that's the whole thing is a big massive filter. Wicked.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So it's a windshield on the back and a pop filter on the front.
Yeah, right.
So
nice.
I can't turn my camera around because it's out of reach. I can't
right.
get it.
I've got this
but
cool
I
one
have
that
a huge
actually
stand-up fan over there, and it's like loud as hell, but you probably can't hear it because it's behind my microphone.
No, I can't hear it. All I can hear is my own computer hum.
Yeah.
But I've got like
it's nice.
noise
I need to
gates and
get
stuff.
a boom stand because I prefer to sit like farther back away from my like setup because I talk with my hands.
Yeah.
But I need to get a boom mic, like a boom stand like you have for your mic.
Yeah.
So that I can come off of my desk.
The thing is, get one if you. I know money's in thing, but like a lot of boom arms come with a shitty mount at that break after a while. This is a Rode one. Now this is the Rode PSA 1 Plus. I think it was quite expensive. It was like $200, but you can get one for like half the price from Rode. and that
No,
will
so
like
the one I'm
last
looking
forever.
at's actually the one I'm looking at's actually like a whole rack that goes on my desk, and it goes up on either side and across, and it actually has 4
Okay.
arms on it. So it'll hold my
that
laptop,
sounds-
it'll hold a monitor, it'll hold my camera, and it'll hold my mic.
Oh, that sounds
All-
cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like $140 on Amazon, I think.
But that's probably worth it. You know, that does a lot of shit.
Yeah,
That's real cool.
Yeah.
See, I already had all that stuff. I already had all the other things rigged up. Then I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different light devices here that I've got, like, and they're all operate off this app. It's been quite a setup that I've been trying to like bite off way more than I should have, like, to get started. Like, I don't need all these lights and shit, but if I turn them all off, it looks garbage.
I was looking at lights and I was like, this is going to get really expensive. So I have 1 and 2 studio lights so that like I can put a presentable image on screen, because you got to have good lighting. But I decided to go with my backdrop, which cost
It looks
me
awesome.
$10. This isn't green screen. This is literally
I
a
know.
photography backdrop. $10, Amazon.
It actually looks really great. And like what I was thinking of doing is move, because I've got a spare room. I've got 2, like there's a whole empty room, like upstairs is another empty room. And I was thinking I could move into and like put in sound baffles and stuff. I was thinking I could get a green screen, but I kind of like the idea of just having a normal backdrop, because it's just cleaner and neater, and it's just less for you. Although I did buy a new computer, which is a pretty nice computer, so I've got the power to generate it, but
just
you
don't
know,
do
like,
shelves with knickknacks. That's so cliche YouTube.
Do you know that's what I was gonna
fucking
I was gonna do that behind here. I was gonna do that back there, but then I thought, no.
Everybody always does that. Everybody always
know.
does like the cube shelves,
I
and
know.
then they just put
That's
random
exactly
collectibles
what I was gonna
in
do,
there,
bro.
And
Instead,
I mean,
got
I
the
guess
American flag.
Yeah, I guess it's good for the algorithm to have a non-static background. So I've been told.
Is it? God,
yeah,
the
something
algorithm's so weird.
It's so weird. Look, if you want to learn how to do how to work the algorithm, watch what Tim Pool and Jeremy Hambley do, the quartering.
I know, but then you got to turn into
They
them.
are
It's sort of like,
the
ugh.
they are the 2 kings of the algorithm.
True, but there's also others that don't do cringy stuff, but they do different kind of content though. That's the problem.
It doesn't have to be their content. Just like the non editorial stuff, how they set up their frame, how when they post their videos, how they make their thumbnails. Those are the things that you have to learn.
Text. Yeah.
Yeah,
apparently
that's the
red
stuff
is
you
a
gotta
thing,
learn
but
from.
I didn't want to go with red in my thumbnails because everyone goes with red in their thumbnails, but then I was like, fuck, I'll put one part of red in there. I'll put the names in
You got to
red,
have
and
at
it's
least
just like,
something in there. You have to.
yeah.
And
yeah.
human faces. You have to put human faces on your thumbnails. If your thumbnail's like completely animated, it gets no love.
I think Mikey's was the only human face on this thumbnail. But then he was only sort of but anyway, yeah.
It's like I told you in DMs the other day. I've been watching and lurking in YouTube culture since Gamergate. So for 10 years, since 2014, 2013, somewhere in there. So about 10 years. And I've made no illusions about anything. Like, I started my YouTube channel as a business, as anyone else who would be starting.
So did I. Registered as a
business. That's how. Which
I have to do legally. Because if I make even a cent off this, I have to declare that.
Really?
Yeah, it's Australia, Barry. Yep, it's Australia. I mean, I won't be liable for tax on that 1 penny. There'll be $18,600. So with that, $19,000 is untaxable. But after that, if you earn after, but you still have to declare it because you need to.
We only get $600.
Oh, we get 19,000.
Yeah, anything over $600 has to be declared as income, and because it's like wage income, it's taxed as small business income. So you're paying business taxes on it and income taxes.
As an individual, we get a tax-free threshold of $19,000, but you'd still do have to declare everything. You still have to, even if it's 5 cents, you have to declare it. You won't be liable for tax on it until you meet the threshold, but you'll still have to declare it all the way up until you do meet that threshold, and then they'll start taking tax dollars out of it. But our money's sort of fake money. It's not real dollars. It's sort of like,
everybody's money's fake money.
You're right. It's all fiat. So
yeah, it's all fiat currency. It's all fake. So that's the weirdest thing about our world is cryptocurrency is more real than real money.
It has become that way. And you know what? This phone I bought with
tangible.
Yeah, it is tangible because I put in like $50 into crypto once, right? I'm like, I'm going to try this out. This was in a big bull run. So like, I just got in at the right time. Is that the right word? The bull when it's going up? Yeah, right. So I managed to turn like $50 into $5,000. Oh no, sorry, $2,000 in about 3 months. But I was actively trading, like not sleeping, going just like trying to do active trading.
In the
and
US,
I bought this phone with it.
In the US, they screw us because it's not a total net gain or net loss at the end of the year that you have to pay taxes on. The way our capital gains tax works, it's each transaction. So if I sell a crypto holding and make $10,000 on it, I have to pay taxes on that $10,000, even if I reinvest it. And then if I lose it all, I'm still responsible for that first 10,000. Even if
your tax law sucks shit.
Oh, the IRS is
fucked. The IRS is such a nasty outfit. Just such a nasty outfit. I'm so glad the Australian Tax Office is not like that. Like, I will say one thing good about Australia. You know, we've got some good government agencies that don't. Although the ATO will fuck you over if you lie to them, but they don't try and force you into like, we know how much you've paid. Now you guess. You tell us. If you get it wrong, we'll put you in jail. They don't do that to us.
Do they track your Venmo and Cash App payments?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, because the IRS is tracking ours.
We don't have Cash App or Venmo, but we've got PayPal, which owns them.
Yeah. So any of the like Cash App,
Venmo, they do.
Yeah, any Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, any of those like peer-to-peer money transferring services, they just passed the law in the US. It was supposed to go into effect last year. They postponed it so that it doesn't go into the effect until tax year 2023. But I think it's $800 if I forget the threshold. But if you go over it, the company has to report it to the IRS so that they can track you.
They just love tracking people and every little data point, don't they?
Yeah.
Look, I had another video to come up, but it's a bit heavy, and I might save it for next time because we're at the 2-hour mark now, and I got to run very shortly. But I was going to go into the Maui and the missing kids. Maybe I think I'll save that for next time because there are some videos on that, and like I've pulled out timestamps and everything, but it's like, yeah, I think it's a bit late to go into that at this point. I think I'll save that for next time because that's an issue that's not going away.
And if I'm being perfectly honest, I'm very sensitive to stories involving children as a father of 3.
And I won't drag you into that then.
They hit me hard, and I tend to not be able to watch what I say.
Yeah, I'll spare you from that, brother, and I appreciate where you're coming from there. And I'm gonna save it for another episode with someone without children.
There you go.
Yeah, But look, guys, I'll read through your chats real quickly. Oh shit, there's so many. I don't think I can. Most of them are from Daniel Rude and Esteban, and we had Magoose in there. We've got Chris Rowland. I'm just going to shout out your names because we're about to wrap it up. Millicent, thank you very much for coming. Everyone, I'm so grateful for you guys sharing this. Grifty, you're such a good guy. I really love you, man. You're so supportive. You're out there like helping out all these small creators out there. You're a really good guy, and I appreciate you.
Well, we got to stick together, man. That's my thing.
We do.
Like if you look at the people who came before us, they didn't get there by themselves. No one handed it to them. No one, like, you know, they weren't building it off bots, but it was a community. You had communities centered around shows like, you know, Friday Night Tights, Flashcast, you know, even back in the day, the old, you know, Internet Blood Sports and, you know, stuff like that. Like these people helped each other out. Even if they didn't agree on everything, even if they didn't even necessarily like each other sometimes, they still put the personal stuff to the side and were like, hey, a rising tide lifts all ships. So that's my motto with all of this. I'm not out here to screw anybody. I'm not out here to stab anybody in the back or, you know, tell everybody's secrets or run the gossip mill. I just like talking to people. I like having calm, casual conversations like we've had tonight. I like having knockdown, drag out, you know, in the vein of Internet Blood Sports debates, you know.
And that's why I started this. I just really wanted to get to know people better. I started this thing like I was really blessed to have created this great network after the EB thing. That was just a major positive that came out of it by pure mistake, and I'm grateful for it. And you know, like I just want to get to know that network better because there's so many great people, like yourself included. But I think we'll wrap it up here, guys, for today. Thank you very much for coming and joining us. I guess you're going to see me on Grifty's show sometime soon, right?
It's coming soon. Yeah, we'll talk. We'll get it scheduled. But I want to do one. So I'm working on an idea for a panel show. And you and Mike will both get invites to the panel show when it happens. But I want to do a one-on-one with each of you guys. I like one-on-one shows a lot when you're trying to really get to the bottom of who someone is and really get to learn, you know, what makes them tick. So I'll reach out to both of you guys and we'll get you guys on. Hey, anyone out there watching, make sure you guys sub to Daniel wherever you're at, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Rumble. Show them that Rumble isn't all fake numbers. Give them some love over there. Give them some interaction.
And I don't want to believe it is either. I want to root for Rumble. I do. I want them to be successful. I do. And I want them to be successful for your sake, for my sake, for their sake. We all want to get off YouTube. No one wants YouTube. So, yeah, I don't want it to be true. And I hope I'm wrong. So, prove me wrong. Yeah. Prove me wrong.
Yeah,
and
but
also,
like I said, give him some love. He's a very smart guy. He's got a lot of insight. He sees things from an angle that as an Aussie looking at American politics, he definitely brings a unique perspective to it. You remind me a lot of Bering. Are you familiar with Bering? He's another Australian YouTuber.
Not from the name drop. No, I don't.
Great guy, great content. Started back in the Gamergate days and as an anti-SJW person. He used to do Tism, the Incredible Salt Mine, with Jeremy from the Quartering.
Maybe I do remember him, I just not by name.
Yeah, it's but you remind me a lot of the way you guys from over there bring, you know, you guys country and has gone farther during COVID, during the lockdowns. It went a lot farther than we did over here. So it's almost like you guys are talking to us from the future. So I really like listening.
People have PTSD from it. Like Mikey was saying, the military, we had military in the streets, just making sure we were inside. They were just patrolling the streets.
Oh, that's insane. Yeah. Like on the street corners.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like an occupying force.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh,
and there were curfews in certain suburbs. Not in my suburb because I live in a rich suburb, right? But in the poor suburbs only, no one was allowed out after 8 p.m. Otherwise, they get arrested and taken to but only if you're poor.
Wow. And see, and that's why I like hearing from you guys, because it really is like a message from the future over here in America. Because as much as I bitch about what we got here, it's still the goddamn greatest planet on, or greatest country on the planet.
It is, and you're all we've got, and I love you guys, and I just I feel like I have the American spirit within me. That's why my whole show is in that theme, and
I love it. I love it.
I'm gonna cut it here now, and I'll thank you all for joining me. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Grifty, and also follow Grifty. I put his and Mikey. I put both Grifty and Mike's socials down in the description. Grifty's Rumble, Mikey's YouTube, and their X accounts. Please check the description and go follow them. Give them some love because they are full of love and they have shared it. So thank you very much, guys.
With that note, your boy's back on Twitter. I'm unsuspended. My 12 hours is up.
Yay! Oh, what? How did you get suspended?
I shared a Jack Murphy meme. I'll send it to you in the DM. I'll send it to you in the DM. It's fucking great.
All right.
It was worth it. I ate my 12 hours for that one proudly. It was funny.
Excellent. Brilliant.
So,
all
right, guys. Check you guys later.
Thanks, guys. See you later.